did not see this last night, but I saw it today. Triple H on Raw last night called John Cena the greatest wrestler of all time. He and Shawn Michaels, and I think Ric Flair it could be one of the greatest of all time, but I don't see Cena being the greatest of all time at all. He was very successful, but his retirement match isn't even sold out. There's still like 5,000 tickets left in a normal sized arena, and the whole thing that businesses hit many record lows while he's been doing. I do admit that I don't hate John Cena at all. I just don't think he's by any stretch the greatest of all time. There's just no way. Like Hulk Hogan would have to be definitely up there as far as just the amount of people that he drew and the interest he brought in wrestling. Rock would have to be up there too. He's the most successful wrestler to become an actor. He became the most famous, but I wouldn't put him above Hogan. But yeah, I just would not put Cena up there at all. Another thing that people probably argue about is Mercedes Moné was named by Pro Wrestling Illustrated to be the top female wrestler of 2025. She has talked about a lot. I'll give her credit where credit is due. But as far as what's your qualifications? Because AEW is hitting record lows all the time. So how can you consider her to be the best when the company she's working for has less interest than ever? She's getting buzz. The gimmick she's doing, winning all these independent wrestling titles. Who knows if she'll ever defend any of them? Maybe some of them. But she was given it, and I mean, she's talked about, so I'm not going to disagree with it. As far as Wrestler of the Year for 2025, the only red flag would be when the company itself is doing so little interest. How could you really say she's that great? But you got to name somebody Wrestler of the Year for 2025. Cena survived because he didn't face the death dealer. I'm doing great. Cena was a great entertainer, but he's definitely not the best ever. Ronnie Garvin, he may have the best punch of all time. Who knows? We'll give him that for being the hands of stone. Cody Rhodes was named the male wrestler of the year. I don't know. I mean, again, the product is stale with him on top right now. So, did he contribute a lot? I would put John Cena wrestler of the year for WWE because he's giving it some, but it'd be completely dead right now, or far more dead if it wasn't um, for Cena. I would have put Cena wrestler of the year for the males for 2025 because he's breathing some life into the product. But again, how legitimate is that these days? Because I know you got to send in your results and stuff, and it's very political. But you guys tell me who you think is male and female wrestler of the year in the comments. I don't. I'll say it for females. Yeah, sure. I'll give it to Moné. She's talked about a lot. But for males, I don't know. I wouldn't give it to Cody Rhodes this year. Ridge Holland, the guy that got released. I guess according to reports on the main roster, he'd been making $400,000 a year. Then he was told last year, I guess, he was either going to be released or he could take a pay cut to make around $200,000 a year, and he would get another 3-year deal. Apparently, he has gone public and saying he turned down the 3-year deal because he didn't want to commit to 3 years at the NXT pay scale. So he only took 1 year, but his contract is literally just ending, and he's saying his house is getting foreclosed on now. So I don't know how. Technically, his pay is just ending now. How do you get your house foreclosed on? I don't know. He's just airing his personal information out public, and this will probably be the last time I report on it because again, I don't feel bad for people that make in the hundreds of thousands a year. He's got a GoFundMe going. I've never made $200,000 a year in my life, so I'm not going to feel bad for someone that's making $200,000 a year saying his home is going to get foreclosed. As far as where Camille, who has not been used in AEW for a long time, former NWA Women's Champion, I heard Dave Meltzer say she's likely just going to be sitting out the rest of her contract. Keith Lee he's on the sit out sheet, as is Chris Jericho. Dr. Luther, who is kind of like Chris Jericho's Brutus Beefcake, he was part of the deal to go to AEW that brought him in. Hey, why not? There's nothing wrong with him. Other than he was trying to call himself the Death Dealer for a while, a name that Billy Graham gave me. But whatever, I'm not wrestling anymore. He was last seen managing Tony Storm, so is it like part of the deal? Well, if we're not going to put Jericho on TV, we're not going to put Luther. I could only assume that. Kurt Angle, and I am a former amateur wrestler. I may not have been the best, but I was freestyle national champion in 2001. And I was the alternate for the London Games in 2012 in Greco-Roman. Had an injury, couldn't do the freestyle that year. And I hadn't wrestled for 10 years. I just came back for the hell of it. Anyways, Kurt Angle has said that Chris Benoit could have made the Canadian Amateur Wrestling Olympic team. Kurt, do you realize there's testing in Canada for amateur wrestling? Chris Benoit was juiced to the gills. And I've never heard of him. Like, yes, he was a good athlete, but how can you say if he's not on these supplements he was taking that he would have been as athletic? I just don't. Maybe if he had some sort of history of a great amateur wrestling career, but pro wrestlers don't necessarily translate into great amateur wrestlers. So there you go. So let me know what you guys think. Is John Cena the GOAT, as Triple H said, or is that just part of the TV show because that was Cena's? He has one more appearance on Raw, and then that'll be it for him. And as I reported this last night, I don't necessarily agree with this because for his retirement show, the Saturday Night Main Event special, which they're charging like $500 and $600 for nosebleeds for, they're going to make it an NXT versus WWE show. So you're going to charge $600 for nosebleeds to see the development talent. I don't know. Have I ever heard of Scuffling Hillbillies? Yes, I have. I've interviewed Hillbilly Jim. Cena's one of the best guys WWE had, but I would not put him there. And I'm sorry, and I don't hate him or anything, but I really this whole final year is proof that if Hulk Hogan had done a retirement tour, you would have had sellouts in every single city. People would be talking about it. Nobody's talking about it outside of wrestling. I'm sure the week of it will get some mainstream publicity because he's also a movie star. But I mean, this has not been like a revolutionary deal for WWE. It's kind of it reached its peak with the angle with The Rock and Cody Rhodes, and then it kind of fell flat. So I wish him luck in his retirement, though. He is great for sure.